You finally reach that moment of spiritual awakening. The divine light floods in, and for an instant, everything seems to make sense. But then, a strange emptiness follows. Why is it that after touching the divine, some feel more hollow than whole? Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, offers a surprising lens on this unexpected void. The promise of spiritual fulfillment is a beacon for many. It offers hope of a deeper connection, a transcendent experience that can transform the mundane into the sacred. Yet for some, the euphoria of finding God is shadowed by an unexpected emptiness. This paradox can be profoundly unsettling. After all, if the divine can't fill the void, what can? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, offers a perspective that delves into the deeper layers of the psyche. He suggests that this feeling of emptiness may not be a failure of the spiritual experience, but a reflection of our incomplete understanding of the self. In Jung's model, the psyche is not a monolithic entity, but a complex interplay of the conscious mind, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. The conscious mind is the part we are most familiar with, our thoughts, perceptions, and beliefs. But beneath lies the personal unconscious, filled with forgotten memories and repressed emotions, and the collective unconscious, which holds the archetypes inherited from humanity's shared experiences. Jung believed that true spiritual fulfillment requires more than just a conscious encounter with the divine. It demands an integration of these deeper, often neglected aspects of the psyche. The emptiness some feel after a spiritual awakening might stem from a disconnect between the conscious experience and the unaddressed shadows within the unconscious mind. As Jung noted, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This process of individuation, as he called it, involves acknowledging and integrating the various facets of the self. For Jung, the path to wholeness is not about eliminating the shadows, but about understanding them. It's about embracing the complexity of our inner world and recognizing that the divine encounter is not an end point, but a step in a continuous journey of self-discovery. The emptiness then becomes a signpost, an invitation to delve deeper into ourselves, to confront the parts we often ignore or fear. In understanding this paradox of fulfillment, we begin to see that the journey towards spiritual wholeness is not a linear path, but a spiral. It involves revisiting old wounds with new insights, integrating the known with the unknown, and accepting that the divine is as much within us as it is beyond us. For those who have felt the emptiness after finding God, Jung's insights offer a map, not just to the divine, but to the depths of their own being. Carl Jung's profound exploration into the human psyche offers a revealing lens through which to understand the perplexing experience of spiritual emptiness, even after finding God. At the heart of Jung's psychological framework is the concept of individuation, a process through which a person integrates the conscious and unconscious parts of the mind to achieve a more complete sense of self. Jung posited that the psyche is composed of three main layers: the conscious mind, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. The conscious mind is what we actively perceive and understand about ourselves and the world. However, Beneath this surface lies the personal unconscious, a reservoir of forgotten or repressed memories and experiences unique to each individual. Deeper still is the collective unconscious, a shared mental space filled with archetypes, which are universal symbols and themes that transcend individual experience. Many who embark on a spiritual journey often focus on the conscious pursuit of the divine, seeking epiphanies and revelations that align with their existing beliefs and desires. However, Jung warns that this approach can neglect the rich, often chaotic world of the unconscious, where true transformation must occur. He famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This darkness, according to Jung, encompasses the ignored or denied aspects of our personality, what he called the shadow. The shadow contains everything that we refuse to acknowledge about ourselves, often because it is in conflict with our conscious self-image. When someone experiences a profound spiritual awakening without addressing these shadow elements, the result can be a sense of incompleteness or emptiness. The conscious self has touched the divine, but the unconscious remains unintegrated, creating a dissonance between what is felt and what is believed. Jung's insight suggests that true spiritual fulfillment comes not from the pursuit of an external deity alone, but from an inward journey that reconciles these hidden aspects of the psyche. By acknowledging and integrating the shadow, individuals can achieve a more holistic understanding of themselves and their place in the universe. This integration is the key to resolving the emptiness that can follow a spiritual encounter, as it allows the entire psyche to participate in the experience, not just the conscious mind. In this way, Jung reframes spiritual fulfillment as a deeper journey into the self, one that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to face the parts of ourselves that we might prefer to ignore. In Jungian psychology, the concept of the shadow refers to the unconscious aspect of the personality that the conscious ego does not identify with. It is, in many ways, the hidden side of ourselves, the parts we prefer not to acknowledge or even know exist. In the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment or divine connection, these shadow aspects can remain untouched, lurking in the depths of the psyche even as the conscious mind reaches for the divine. When someone experiences a profound spiritual awakening, it can illuminate the vast landscape of consciousness. However, this new light can also cast longer shadows. Jung suggests that true spiritual fulfillment requires not just the ascent into the light of divine connection, but also a descent into the darker, unexplored territories of the self. The shadow, with its repressed emotions and unacknowledged desires, holds a crucial part of our psychic energy. Ignoring it can result in feelings of emptiness, even in the midst of what should feel like spiritual completeness. The shadow is not inherently negative. Rather, it comprises aspects of ourselves that have been denied expression. These may include our instincts, creativity, and even the potential for growth that has been stifled by societal norms or personal fears. Jung believed that acknowledging and integrating the shadow is essential for individuation, the process of becoming whole and realizing one's fullest potential. Without this integration, the spiritual journey can feel incomplete, as the shadow's neglected energy manifests as feelings of void or dissatisfaction. To confront the shadow is to engage in a dialogue with the parts of oneself that have been kept in the dark. This involves courage and honesty, as it requires recognizing traits and impulses we might prefer to avoid. Yet, by bringing these elements into conscious awareness, we can harmonize the psyche and restore a sense of inner balance. It's a reconciliation of opposites, light and dark, conscious and unconscious, that Jung believed was vital for true spiritual fulfillment. This integration leads to a more authentic self, one that is capable of experiencing the divine not as a fleeting moment of ecstasy, but as a continuous, grounded presence in everyday life. By embracing the shadow, individuals open themselves to a deeper, more resilient form of spirituality, one that acknowledges the full spectrum of human experience and transcends the simplistic binaries of good and evil. Returning to the ordinary world after a profound spiritual experience can feel like stepping back into shadows after touching the sun. The air is thicker, the colors duller, and the mundane tasks of life seem to drag on, lacking the brilliance of divine encounters. This is a common paradox faced by seekers. The peak experience fades, and with it, the anticipated permanence of enlightenment. Carl Jung offers a compelling perspective on this phenomenon. He suggests that the emptiness felt after finding God is not a sign of failure or spiritual inadequacy. Rather, it signals an incomplete integration of the unconscious aspects of the self that were illuminated during the experience. Jung believed that spiritual experiences awaken parts of the psyche that are usually dormant, offering a glimpse into deeper truths. However, these insights must be integrated into the daily life of the individual to bring about real transformation. Returning to the ordinary is an invitation to engage with the shadow, the parts of ourselves that we often overlook or deny. Jung argued that true fulfillment comes not just from the conscious pursuit of divine encounters, but from the continual work of integrating our shadow aspects into our conscious awareness. This process is difficult and often uncomfortable, as it requires facing aspects of ourselves that we might prefer to ignore. Yet, it is crucial for achieving a sense of wholeness and meaning. In the ordinary moments of life, in the routine and the repetitive, we are offered the opportunity to apply the insights gained from spiritual experiences. It is through the conscious integration of these experiences into our everyday actions and decisions that we find genuine fulfillment. Jung emphasized that enlightenment is not a static state, but a dynamic process of becoming more fully ourselves, balancing the conscious and unconscious elements of the psyche. Thus, the emptiness after finding God may be seen not as a void, but as fertile ground for deeper growth. It is an invitation to explore the inner landscape more thoroughly, to bring light to the shadowed recesses of the psyche, and to weave the insights of the transcendent into the fabric of daily life. In doing so, we may discover that the divine is not only in the extraordinary moments of revelation, but also in the simple, quiet acts of everyday living. Before you return to the noise of the day, a small request. If this reflection gave you something to sit with, consider subscribing. It is the quietest way to keep these meditations coming. Leave a like so the work reaches others who are asking the same questions, and share it with one person who might need a moment of stillness today. Your support is what allows this channel to grow. Thank you for listening. And until we meet again in the next silence,